James Thomas, Morning Blend. You know that there's a series on TV called From. It is a very interesting series. Once you go into this little town, you're not going anywhere. And today I've got one of the stars, and it's Hannah Cheramy. Am I saying it right? Cheramy, Hannah Cheramy. And you played Julie, right?
Yes.
Tell us about your character, Julie.
Julie is definitely very fun. I love playing Julie. She's so complex. I love that she's not just the one-dimensional teenage girl daughter character. There's so many aspects to her personality and her relationships with everybody in the town and her family. It's such an interesting dynamic to play, and I really enjoy playing her.
You know, when you said interesting dynamics as a teenager, I think most teenagers today are interesting, a lot more interesting than what I was as a teenager. So how is she handling all of this, being in this town and not being able to get out?
Julie definitely has her moments where the really gets to her, obviously, and she has breakdowns in the beginning of season 2 because everything is just really, really, really built up at the beginning of season 2. But she also has her moments where she is the calm one and potentially even the voice of reason that we'll see later on in the season. I think it's really great to play both sides of that coin because it's human. No one is going to have, if you're actually in this scenario, nobody's going to have one set thing that they're just doing constantly. You're going to be all over the place. So I think it's a really good insight into how humans actually are.
That's very interesting. I wish they would do something in DC like that too. That's another story. Hannah, let's go back a couple years ago when the script was handed to you. What happened? What were you thinking?
You know, when I booked this show, I had never actually read any scripts yet. I had just done my auditions, and I got the first scripts for season 1 while I was in quarantine in Halifax, getting ready to film season 1. And funny thing is when I was doing my director callback, they said, "Oh, are you doing the scenes with the puppets?" And I was like, "Puppets? I don't know any puppet." And they would go, "Oh, never mind." So I thought when I booked this role that Julie was a ventriloquist. That is a true story. I was like, I was waiting for something to come up that she always had like a puppet on her or something. I had no clue. So when I got the scripts, I was like, "Oh, okay, I see what this show is now." And I'm far more happy with that than the ventriloquist storyline that I created.
So what's the difference between Julie in season 1 and in season 2?
It's night and day for season 2 versus season 1. Season 1, she starts off very, emotional, the sort of bratty teenager as one would see her as, even though I believe it's very, very justified in her reactions given the loss of her infant brother Thomas. No one reacts to grief. There's no right way to react to grief, and that's the way that she ended up reacting. And season 2, she really understands just like how important her family is after potentially losing both of them in the house collapse. So I think it's really important. Julie really keeps those people close to her heart, and I think it's a really beautiful thing that we get to see that within the Matthews family in season 2.
You know, speaking about your character Julie and seeing you as an actress, what would you suggest to other millennials who are trying to break into the industry? What would you say to them?
Well, I'm a Gen Z, so
Okay.
not that it matters, but yeah, anybody trying to break into the industry, I just think it's all about perseverance, and it's all about giving it your best every single time. Even if you get a script and you're like, "This is dumb, I don't want to do this, like I can't do this, or this is out of my comfort zone," or blah 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 blah, blah. Excuses. Give it your all. And I think that that's really important, and I think that that's what gets people to where they are. And you have to make sacrifices sometimes, and I think, but it's always rewarding to see how the show turns out and how people react to it. And I think it's puts any other thing to the side.
It's interesting you're saying that because Halle Berry played a crack addict, and then she also played a stripper, and then she wins an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really, yeah.
And it's all about, versatility, being able to play different characters and stuff and not getting stuck in the same thing. And you just always got to give it your all, no matter what character you get. And it's always just fun. It's just like acting is fun. Just playing all these different characters. It's like dress up. Like, it's great.
I like that. It's like dress up. It's like Halloween 365. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you see as the future for you, Hannah?
Well, my future, I would obviously love to continue acting. I'm also in school at the same time while I do acting. While I was filming, I was on set writing essays at the same time. So I'm in school at the same time, and I obviously want to get my degree. And yeah, I guess we'll just see where it goes from there. I don't really like to think too far into the future. I like to live in the moment. Life is so precious, and
I like that. I like that. Been speaking with Hannah Cheramy, playing Julie in the series From. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend. You're from British Columbia. I was born in Vancouver, Washington, not too far away.
Oh,
So
nice. Let's
thanks
go.
again. Yeah, thanks again,
Thank
Hannah.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.